Okay, and it looks like the drivers are lined up. The referees are ready. We're going to go ahead and give them a countdown, starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them go, and they're going to be off and running here in the any year wire up class. Track being a little bit greasy, going to kind of slow things up just a tad out here. And again, it looks like making first contact is going to be the 856 of Dave Summerlin out of Ravenna. And he went back-to-back with the 177X of Tanner Voyers out of Suffield. It looks like the truck got a little bit worse. Well, the 22 kind of sliding around, trying to make some contact out here. 856 rolling on down. Dave Summerlin out of Ravenna, down on his own. That's Billy Loden out of Suffield in the 88 and 19. Now we are going to be paying the top 3 spots in this event. Again, top 3 are going to be guaranteed some prize money. And in this event, we are going to pay $750 to win. 200 for second, 100 for third, even with the small car count that we have. Looks like the 856 trying to refire. That's Dave Summerlin. Yep, he's got her going, and we've got some movement out there. Still allowed out of Suffield back there in that west end of the track all by himself down there. Looks like he's trying to get jockeyed around. The double deuce coming on down through there. That's Steve Shook. And it looks like Tanner Voyers is going to put the 22 out of submission because I don't think he's going to be able to work his way out of that predicament that he's on right there. Dave Summerlin almost got his nose up on top of that concrete barricade, but not quite. Again, I think the double deuce is perched high atop that end zone down there. Right now, Tanner Voyers in the 177X. Going on the attack after Billy Loudon out of Suffield in the 88-19. Billy heading on down to the middle of the track right now. It looks like 22 definitely trying to shake his way down through. Oh, looks like we did some damage to the nose. It looks like we're going to be heading back again, folks, for a little bit more. And look at those noses go up in the air on those automobiles. Now, what had happened in the meantime, looks like the 856 went out, broke his stick. And then a little bit later, it looks like the 22 still had some time left. Looks like we have both these vehicles out here trying to wiggle their way apart. Looks like they all kind of wedged together. like we almost got it. There, we got them popped apart. And what they don't want to do is hit each other at that exact same again. Oh, and it looks like Tanner may have stalled out the 177X, but he's got her back going, so the 177 back on the move right now. These drivers going to have one heck of a time seeing up and over the nose of these automobiles. And here they come once again. Looks like right in front of the driving course, is in close proximity. Going nose to nose, and look at the steam just a-flying out of these two automobiles down there. Well, and it looks like they're going to get jockeyed around the other direction here. Not sure if Billy Loudon's able to get his turned around. He's trying to crank that wheel as best he can. Right now, Tanner Voyers pretty much has a bead on him right now, but looks like he's going to try to let him get squared up on him and get that driver's door out of the way. Look at them go once again. My goodness. That did some damage right there to both of them. Up, and away. And I think that the red flag is going to be flying. What a way to end things out there. My goodness. What a heat that was. We only had 4 of them, but Tanner Voyers in the 177X going to be taking away the checkered flag in the win. But I'll tell you what, a very respectable finish for the 88-19. Billy Loudon out of Suffield in second place. Billy is sponsored by Eldrith Photography and Voyers Construction. And they didn't pull any punches out there, that's for sure. Our winner, Tanner Voyers, is sponsored by Move It Now and A9 Machine. And finally, we have the number 9 MM out on the track right now. That is Nick Joseph rounding out the field here in the truck. Now Nick is here out of Talmadge. So if you would, help me give him a countdown, starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them go, and they're going to be off and running here. Tear them up. Pickup truck demolition derby. Once these trucks get going, it's going to get crazy out there. And the 9mm getting things out on the track. truck a bit. Down there. Packing them in for that. Right now. That's going to be Matt Kittle. Thanking a couple of the drivers for getting them in. Oh my goodness. And over. He's going to be bringing it back. Now the triple X out of Beloit coming on down through there. A lot of noise comes on through. Pickup truck getting jockeyed around. Out of a roof down. Out of the predicament that he's in, the 1120 Russ Heater out of the line from that pickup truck. Going to be going nose to nose with the 7-0 up there. All of the trucks coming on down here. Kind of totally at track center at this time. 88 taking one heck of a pounding out there, finding himself out. Hold him up, hold him up, hold him up. We got us a fire out here. Driver climbing out the back. That's going to be the number 88 of Andre Ewart out of Suffield. Driver is out. We do have the green flags, and they're going to go ahead and turn them loose and let them go. Getting the action back underway. Got the 666X going to be coming in there. Josh Wyatt out of Beloit going back to back with the K9 of Carl Eberhardt out of Atwater. Looks like 410X still trying to get his machine going out here. And they are going around. Looks like they are. Oh, and doggone it, looks like the 410X has called it a night out there. Unfortunately, Mike coming out of a Randolph, removing the flag from the doorpost of that machine. The K9 went on down through there. Carl Eberhardt out of Atwater, going back down to join that party of four down at the other end. Out of the K9. Josh Wyatt in the 666X. Still showing notes, the 8104X. Kittle out of Garrettsville, and finally Vince Hamrick out of Rootstown. Finishing things out. And the mud just applied. 70. Vince Hamrick out of Rootstown, pushing his way down to the middle of the track right now. pickup truck still running. We've had the top three, $1,250 to win, 500 per second. $250 for a third place finish. Again, out of the vehicles that are on the track right now, $1,250 to win, 500 per second, and $250 for a third place finish. Number 7-0 trying to push his way on down to the end. It looks like he's got a special delivery for Matt Kittle in the 81-04. That was Ben Hamrick out of Lewistown leading the way, the K9. Still got these last 4 pickup trucks left running. These are some tough trucks out there. The 666X, Josh Wyatt out of Beloit, showing a little bit of wear and tear out there with the steam just pouring off of his pickup truck. These 4 are still getting things done out here. The top 3 out of these 4 are going to be getting some prize money tonight. Vince Hamrick in the 70. He's out of Rootstown. He's staring down the barrel of his machine at the K9. That is Carl Eberhardt in the white K9 machine. Josh Wyatt coming on through in the 666X. And finally, Matt Kittle in the 81-04X, rounding out our last 4 that are running on the track right now. A 666X definitely running on the warm side tonight. Looks like somebody may have just lost a tire. And my guess, that tire, as we can see, was the 666X. Things just went from bad to worse as that tire popped out. And that's going to make it a little bit more difficult for Josh Wyatt. That horsepower hooked up to the track down there. You can see that rim spinning in the side. The west end of the track. I'll push his way through. That's Carl Eberhardt. 81-04X coming on through from the east end. That's Matt Kittle. Garrettsville. Vince Hamrick trying to get jockeys around right now. It's a very slow process. He may have some steering issues. He's trying to Armstrong steer that machine. Carl Eberhardt trying to catch that 81-04X of Matt Kittle as he shoves his way on through here. And it looks like the 666X is counted out at this time. Number 70 is still on the clock. Trying to get himself unwedged from that stalled out vehicle that's in his way right now. Not sure he's going to be able to get things done. We got the K9 out of the far end. Carl Eberhardt trying to get jockeyed around right now. Number 70, pretty tightly wound up on that stalled out traffic. K9's going to be shoving his way through at a high rate of speed, making his presence known at this time. So it looks like right now the advantage definitely is going to be with Carl Eberhardt out of Atwater in the K9 machine. And he is stacking and packing them right there in the middle of the track. I'll tell you, Matt Kittle doesn't look like he's going to have a whole lot of room to do anything out there, but he is on the timer. Okay, it looks like the 70 is out. We got the 810X, so I think the red flags are going to be coming out at this time. And there they go, and that means that the K9 machine of Carl Eberhardt out of Atwater is going to be leading things tonight. First place finish here in the full-size truck event. Dustin Dowdrimple out of Akron is in the 78-15 machine. Following, did make it on the track. He snuck in, didn't catch him out there. So again, my apologies. But the 515 is out on the track and race ready. We're going to get our referees in place. Countdown starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them go, and they are going to be off and running here at the Smash It, Crash It, Tear 'em Up Automobile Demolition Derby. This is the Smash It event. You're going to notice these cars built to just a little bit higher standard with a little bit more steel in them, and the wire not bending quite as easily. Down the track right now. Down the far end. And they are working it out here on the track tonight, folks. One heck of a great show. They are working on. Looks like we may have one of them sliding off the track down there. I believe that's the June bug machine. Way off the track, Hold them up, drivers. Let's hold them up. Hold them up. Let's stop them out there if you would. And the 177X, Tanner Boyer out of Suffield, making his way down through the track. The 515 coming on around Hunter McPeak out of the Diamond. Got that 717 Darren Zimmerman out of Atwater. Darren getting his machine spun around. Tanner Boyer's in the 177. Target out there. 1, 2, 09X. Cedric Brown in the 412. Now he's of Shane Lovejoy. Got a few of them like the 841 down at the far end. That's Jason Lovejoy out of Ravenna. Way through on the end right now. Number 91 coming on into the mix of things. That is the T91, actually. Tim Novak out of a Suffield, and here they come at a high rate of speed. That's Darren Zimmerman out of Atwater pushing his way into that mass of metal. The 710 Shane Lovejoy in there. 177X Tanner Boyers. Looks like the 212 is making a breakaway right now. That's Brian Kemper out of Rootstown. Coming down the bike, that's a 78-15. That's Justin Dalrymple out of Akron. Out of contention down there. Going up to Jason Lovejoy with the flag. Out of the door post. 5:15 off the technical difficulties out there. The T91, Tim Novak out of Suffield taking a punch in the nose from Dustin Dalrymple out of Akron. In the 78-15 right here, 717. Darren Zimmerman squaring off with the 177X of Tanner Boyers out of Suffield. Extremely large track we got down here. Trying to work their way out the far end of it down there. So 177X working his way around. Tanner Boyers out of a Suffield. And here comes the 78-15. Dustin out of Akron. Pushing his way toward the middle of the track. Number 4, Brown out of Ravenna being followed down by the 710 of Shane Lovejoy. Shane Lovejoy driving here out of Ravenna. front end troubles on the 177X Tanner Warriors. You can see that front end flip-flopping around. Got a little bit of camber, you might say, on the front right side tire and side to side. We'll be able to work that out right now. 717, Darren Zimmerman. He's going to square off and nose to nose with Dustin Dalrymple out of Akron. Man, did he put that thing up in the air. 78-15. Sustaining quite a bit of damage on that on the front end. So hopefully we'll be able to get that thing working once again. Now 78-15 currently on the timer. He's got her going, but look at all that steam pouring out from underneath the hood of that automobile. He fired that thing up and heading on down the track. Whoop, hold him up, drivers, hold him up, hold him up, hold him up. Yeah. Track is cleared once again. And that's 412. That's Cedric Brown. Then it looks like he's taking himself out of right there in front of us. The 177X. That's Tanner Boyers out of Suffield. Still mixing it up with the 715. See, that's 717. Darren Zimmerman out of Atwater. I've got some movement out of at least 4 vehicles right now. Looks like the T91, Tim Novak out of Suffield, still trying to work his way out of the zone that he's in over there. And the 177X, Tanner Boyers, taking it on down to the 717. Darren Zimmerman, also down there, looks like the 710. Shane Lovejoy, still working that car into 78-17. That is Dustin out of Akron, still trying to keep his machine going to the action, but the referee's keeping a close eye on the time clock. Get that vehicle back down and making some contact. Automobile still left running. And we are down to 3. It looks like Darren Zimmerman taking his machine down there for Tanner Boyers in the 177X. The last one is going to be the 710 Shane Lovejoy. Now you'll notice a little bit of sparks coming out from the underside of the 710 machine from time to time. It's going to be down by the rear end. That's typically a pinion brake. And once again, Darren Zimmerman in the 717, Shane Lovejoy in the 710, and the 177X, Tanner Boyers, all still running, all guaranteed prize money in this particular event. Going to be 1,500 to win, 750 per second, and 500 for a third place finish here tonight. Tanner Boyer arriving out of Suffield. Shane Lovejoy out of Ravenna. Arriving out of Atwater tonight. Once again, guaranteed some prize money. Looks like we may have a little bit of steering issue over there. 710 of Shane Lovejoy making his way down the main grandstand side, or the midway side of the track, just going back and forth. Unfortunately, does not look like he has any control of those front tires with his steering wheel. Okay, looks like third place. Third place is going to be Shane Lovejoy in the 710 out of Ravenna. Right down between Tanner Boyers in the 177X and Darren Zimmerman in the 717. Okay, we do need a skid loader, I'm told. Something broke on the 177X while they was waiting. It stalled out, so that means the first place is going to be going to Darren Zimmerman out of Atwater. Didn't even get to pop them apart out there. So Darren Zimmerman out of Atwater, sponsored by Action Auto Body, going to be winning the Demolition Derby here in the Smash It event. Second place, Tanner Boyers out of Suffield. Again, taking second, sponsored by Graphic Detail, Gibson Iron Metal, and D's Cuts. And in third, Shane Lovejoy in the 710 out of Ravenna, sponsored by EBS. Once again, folks, all of tonight's Demolition Derby action has been... Okay, and it looks like we are going to go ahead and award first place to the 717 of Darren Zimmerman out of Atwater while they were bringing the skid steer out there. The 177X of Tanner Boyers waved off. Something malfunctioned and broke in his automobile. So again, first place with the 717. The second place is going to be the 177X of Tanner Boyers, and third, Shane Lovejoy in the 710 automobile machine. That's Thomas Mangold out of Randolph. I believe that was the 75. Nice winger out of Ravenna, the X26 coming on right now. That's Blake Myers out of Rootstown. And they're coming in a little fast for me, the 01. Sean Petrie out of Manaway. 529X. Maggie Kepler out of Ravenna. And I can see the number 2 coming around there. That is Isaac Heron out of Deerfield. 69-8. Charles Dawes out of Randolph. Number 1, Jesse Ross out of Deerfield. 07. Okay, so Douglas Ratliff is in the 01. He's here out of Portage Lake. Brett Mills is in the 89 out of Barberton. The 67X, that's Robert Zarka out of Manaway. Tom Grund out of Diamonds in the 34, sponsored by Ray's Garage and Pioneer Group. The 06.5, Tony Smith out of Atwater. The 10-9, that's Wesley Neff out of Kent. The 4D40, Sean Kumos out of Brimfield. The 222, Bruce Klingensmith out of Atwater. And Brian Wolf out of Rootstown, sponsored by Katie's Corner in Kent, Ohio. Looks like we may have one down there trying to get refired. Not quite making it to the track. Like the drivers are ready and the referees are ready, so let's go ahead and give them a countdown, starting with 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let them go. They're going to be off and running here in the mini car event of our Smash It, Crash It, Tear 'em Up Automobile Demolition Derby. All out here in the mini car event. And this is where it's at, folks. They are going to town right now. And look at them making some noise. So buzz bombs on the track tonight here at the Smash It Demolition Derby, brought to you by Charshone Ford and Chevy and Lepo Rents. Taking us down to the last 1250 a lot of Demolition Derby action yet to come. 529, putting some hard hits on out there. They are packing in down at the far side. Small automobiles, that's going to be the 337. Counted down. 2410, rolling its way in here. Things kind of come on down through here. We understand there's going to be a lot of you heading out. We do want to thank you for coming out here to Smash the Demolition Derby for those of you taking cover. Unfortunately, Mother Nature didn't want to play nice, but we do have another night of Demolition Derby action coming tomorrow night, same time, same place. Again, we do thank you for coming out here and having one heck of a good night thus far. That's the one nice thing about Demolition Derbies, folks. They keep on keeping on. Whoa, my goodness, look at the number 87 about taking flight down there. That was a wild ride, let me tell you. From this angle and this vantage point, I thought that thing was going up and away. So far, he kept her down on all four wheels. That was Kevin Beth out of Akron. Number 62 out there trying to get jockeys around. Looks like they have a few of them definitely falling off the stage. Chris Phillips. That's a familiar name out there. He's running strong. Crash number 555. Thomas Mangold. Down to Rambo over on the far side. Oh, looks like somebody lost. That was 555. Losing the radiator on that machine. Quite a few of them have fallen off the pace out here very quickly in this mini car. The 009 still runs from DJ Pullett out of Ravenna and Chris Dillard putting the squeeze play on what appears to be maybe the 71. That's like I think that's possibly Eric Noel. I'm not 100% sure. Nope, the 71 is heading off to the side. That's Eric Noel. He's got a lot of clear running room. I was talking to Eric earlier, and he said he started running here, I believe, back in '87 when he was 16. Familiar faces, I believe he was talking about. Jeff Elder's running in '86. He started in '87. A lot of these drivers from this area. Continuing the legacy of Demolition Derby. What a fantastic group of drivers we have here. 529, bringing her back towards track central. Robert Mason out of Limaville. He's going to be getting pushed down there by the 009 of DJ Pullett out of Ravenna. 122, muscling his way down the track right now. A whole lot of noise out on the track. Folks, we got a whole lot of Demolition Derby action going on right here at your 2017 Portage County Randolph Fair. And you can hear the buzz bombs taking flight out here. And they are doing one heck of a job keeping things rocking and rolling. Again, the mini cars continuing to pummel one another. And look at the 000, that Boozer out of Ravenna, bringing his down to track central. 755 right in front of him. Putting on a heck of a good show. And those cars, oh, looks like the 608 did the right thing. Dropping just shy of the driving score out here. That's Josh Burris out of Canton. They are slip-sliding around. 755 coming on in. Eric Bennett out of Canton coming on down through. Around right now, 128. Purple flag, that's Frank Christie out of Ritztown. 009. DJ Pullett coming on down the pike with a little bit of help from the 71 of Eric Noel out of Ritztown. Over on the other side of the 5. 29. Robert Mason out of Limaville. And the 122. Jason Crosby out of Ritztown. Working that far into the track right now. He's staring down the barrel. 15 of Chris Dillard. A whole lot of mangled metal out on the track tonight. And folks, I'm told that tomorrow we're supposed to have a lot better weather. Might be a little bit chilly tomorrow. Tomorrow night. We certainly thank you all for coming out. Those of you that had your vehicles, we understand that unfortunately this is one thing you can't control is the weather. So 122 throwing caution to the wind, and he's heading her on down the pike. That's Jason Crossman out of Ritztown. He's making things happen out there. A little bit of shake and bake action going on. The 529. We're rolling on down. That's Robert Mason out of Alimaville. And man, is that weather taking a turn for the worst right now, unfortunately. Now the Buzz Bombs continuing their barrage down here. Chris Villers, 7:15, coming on down through the pike. We got a lot of them hammered down through there. The 50 XL, that's Justin Crosman out of Rootstown on the bike closing path. Mixing it up with the 1, 2. Got Justin Crosman with the 50 XL. Jason Crosman with the 122. Hold up, making contact. 128, holding her to the floor and up against the governor. It looks like Frank Christie may have hold him up. Got us a fire down here. Hold him up. Hold him up, drivers. Underway out here. Now the 50 XL, that's Justin Crosman out of Rootstown. He's being followed over there by the 71 of Eric Knoll out of Rootstown. Chris Villers in the 715, making some contact. Now right in front of us, we definitely have some movement out of 4 vehicles in this pack. Looks like another couple drivers over there to the far end, making some things happen, including the 009 of DJ Pullett out of Ravenna. Right now he's putting blows over there on the 122. Okay, looks like time has expired on the 122. Jason Crosman down. Now I'm feeling some movement out of about 5 automobiles. We got the 009 DJ Pullett. The 50 XL, that's Justin Crosman. 71 is going to be Eric Knoll out of Rootstown. Chris Villers is in the 715. 128, Frank Christie. Going to be the 5th automobile out here making some noise right now. Still running and still moving. DJ Pullett in the 009, bringing her back around to the nose of the 715 of Chris Villers, the 128 off to the side. Frank Christie out of Rootstown coming on through. Eric Knoll in the 71. Again, Eric's been driving here for quite a few years. Started his career back in the mid-80s. I'm glad to see him out here continuing to make things happen out on the track. Looks like we may have some serious damage to the front end of the 009. At this point in time, it looks like the CV shaft is completely busted off for that. And DJ Poet making it down to about 5th tonight. Right now, we've got some movement without 4 automobiles. Justin Crosman in the 50XL, Frank Christie in the 128, Eric Knoll behind wheel 71, and Chris Spillers on the 715. Looks like Chris Spillers going after Eric Knoll in that 71. Eric continuing to bring it. He goes back to back with Frank Christie. Still 4 vehicles left to run. Again, we're going to pay the top 3 $12.50 to win, $500 for second, and $250 for a third place finish. Pretty hard hit by the 715. Still inside the 50 XL. Crosby. Frank Christie in the 128, trying to refire. Looks like he got her going and starting to wiggle his way out of the predicament that he's finding himself in right now. Right tire taking a little bit of direct contact. Hits from the 50 XL. Keep his machine going right now. It's definitely getting hot. You can see that thing blowing out the black smoke. Just keep her running, and that's the main thing. Refire within the allotted amount of time. Like 128. Warm up just a bit. I believe those sparks are coming out. Not seeing any sparks right now. I have to keep a close eye. Doing a lot of shoving there on the 71 of Eric Knoll. 128. Continuing to keep it running out there. That's Frank Christie. Familiar name, familiar number. And they're stacking them up 4 deep out here. Trying to pry their way out of that predicament. Looks like they are free and loose out here. Justin Crosman in the 50XL. Bit of a hit on the 128. Takes his nose around the corner there. It looks like he's going back for a repeat performance. And Frank Christie out of Rootstown in the 128 automobile. Eric Knoll also out of Rootstown in the 71. Justin Crosman out of Rootstown, 50XL. And finally, Chris Villers in the 715 here from Chesterland. Class 4 vehicles definitely running strong out here. Like we may have, nope, still got all 4 of them continuing to run. Like we may have a little bit of steering issues on the 71. Eric Knoll trying to get his machine jockeyed around right now. Get that done or not. Well, and a hush falls over the track right now. We still see some movement out of the 128 down there. That's Frank Christie. Oh, and look at that. There goes a radiator or one of the hoses. Something definitely went south in a big, big hurry on the 128. Chris Villers over there looks like he's on the clock right now. Advantage at this point is going to be with the 128, I believe. Chris Villers, first one to be on the timer. Okay, looks like that's going to be it. The red flags are coming out, indicating the time has expired. And that means the first place finish is going to be the 128 of Frank Christie out of Rootstown. Second place, the 715, Chris Villers out of Chesterland. And then we had the 3 and 4 over there. It looks like it was down to some timer issues, I believe. The flag for third is going to go to the 50XL. That was Justin Crosman out of Rootstown, sponsored by Collision Craft. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, we certainly want to thank you all for coming out here and spending the evening with us, Smash Demolition Derby. Unfortunately, less than optimum weather conditions, obviously, but we certainly appreciate all of the hardcore Demolition Derby fans in the stands that stuck it out here. And again, we appreciate each and every one of you coming out to the show and having one heck of a great time watching these fantastic drivers